Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by. Today's Merry Monday and I hope that this video goes up before it's Tuesday. I got started and realized I looked up and my camera wasn't rolling. And I did make this video this morning, only you were over there and I was over here. Yeah, way out of frame. And so I just decided I've got a migraine and I'm going to bed. So I did. I took some medicine and I went to bed. And then, like I said, I was just doing this and I looked up and the camera wasn't doing anything. So anyway, it's on now. Happy Merry Monday. And I hope you're all doing really, really well. I hope you had a great weekend and you're getting really excited about Christmas. I am. I mean, I do have, some things going on, but Christmas is Christmas, no matter what's going on, right? So, anyway, I had made some errors doing some printing. I was going to do Merry Monday by doing a journal within 30 minutes. That was like my goal. I was going to set a timer and do a journal in 30 minutes using Donna from Twisted Paper Studios papers, digitals. The only problem is I misprinted three of the pages before I realized they were misprinting. So I tore them up and I was going to put them in my twisted tangle. I was going to make some twisted tangles out of them and start over. And I thought, no, let's do something with these. So I decided that today's video would be about how I go about making my snippets. And these are some of the ones that I had made this morning, but then, like I said, you were over there and I was over here and you didn't see anything. So this was the first snippet that I made, and I always use a base. So what I mean by a base is like a piece like this, a cutoff, like this was a layaway tag. This was just some tags from the Dollar Tree. They had strings on them, what have you. And the reason why I use a base is because it keeps me within my limits. Otherwise, I make them too big, always. So, for example, like this was part of the journal that I was going to make, and we will make this, maybe starting tomorrow. But this is Donna's from Twisted Paper Studios. This is her pink cover to one of her Tall Skinny journals, this is some of her avocado stained paper, which is beautiful. She does such a good job. It's gorgeous. It's just beautiful paper. So I'm going to still do this, and likely tomorrow I'll start it or do it. But like, especially for a Tall Skinny journal, I don't want my snippet to overtake the page. Or for example, you could take one of these, and these are just these little bags I get at the Dollar Tree, but the party section, always check the party section at the Dollar Tree, because they always have these little treat bags. And the party section, no matter where you go, Target, any kind of store like that, check the party section, because that's where they have all the good little bags and things like that. So what I'll do is I'd put something like this on the bag, right? And glue that down. And then this is just a template I use to make tags. But then this could go in here. And then you could even put that on your journal, anywhere. You could put it over here or what have you. And you've got a really pretty, snippet. You could put it on the side. You could put it in the middle. You could decorate the bag like this with your snippet, and then, and then you pull out your tag, So there's lots of things you can do with snippets. You could take a piece of a doily. I don't have a real small piece of doily here, but you could take a small piece of doily, put it on the side like this, and then, perhaps put it at the top of your page like this. So you just cut that piece of doily off, and that would look real pretty as well, So that's why I make them with a base, because that way I don't go over my perimeter, if that makes sense. And even if you're making a landscape type journal, still, you don't want it to, you know, you don't, a snippet to me is a little tiny piece of work of art, you know, just like a collage. And I just like it to look like a little piece of work of art, you know. And then these pieces, I just took Donna's labels, not labels, her ephemera, and I shrunk it down by, I printed like 2 to a page. So 2 pages of her, of those to a page, which I'll show you. Hold on, because I have them right here in one of my sleeves, unless I'd already fussy cut them all out. Let me go to that page. So, for example, okay, here. Here's some I haven't fussy cut yet. So, here's a page. If I printed 2 to a page, it shrinks these right down so I can use smaller ones. Okay, so for example, for this, look how much smaller she is. But that gives me the opportunity to make things with smaller things, okay? So that's what I typically do. I'll print them full page, then 2 to a page, and sometimes I'll print 4 by 6, which would make it even smaller. So I'd print, it would bring it down half size if I printed 5 by 7, and if I printed 4 by 6, it would bring it down even smaller. And then I'd have much smaller images to work with. Okay, and these are her Twisted Paper Studios Christmas ephemera. So, now that I got that out of the way, where are we? 7 minutes. Okay. So, I always start with a base. As you can see, all of these have bases. And I'll put these to the side because I've already made those. And I did have my sewing machine over here, but I had my husband put it back because I don't want to be sewing with it right now. Anyway, so what I did was I put these 3 pieces, you know, I chose 3 pieces out of my scraps, which are here, and they are all pretty much Twisted Paper Studios, except I do have some antique paper in here because I was going to use it in my journal from Souvenir de la France. So some of that is, you know, if you see anything like this, that's not from Twisted Paper Studio. And then I did have a few scraps left over from just a couple, actually, which is great. This green and red I had left over from the little girl journal that I had been working on. So I didn't pull it. It was right here. I was ready to put my scrap, do my Twisted Paper, Twisted Tangles, which are by Donna. I can show you one. I actually have one that she made me a long time ago. Oh no, it's not here. I bet it's in here. It is. This is a Twisted Tangle right here. And what you do is you put it through your embossing machine after you glue it together. You put them through your embossing machine. And then you can add a little fabric scrap and a button, and you have what's called a Twisted Tangle. So she's a doll. She's just a sweetheart. I just love her. So I've saved that forever. It's at least a year, if not longer. And I keep it clipped right here. So anyway, today we're making snippets. We'll make Twisted Tangles another time. So I did 3 pieces. Now what I want to do is get a piece of fabric or ribbon or lace or something to put on top of this before I do my video. I mean, before I do my focal point. So you could make a whole bunch of these, right? And then put them into, you know, your little snap bag or box or wherever you keep your snippets. Then when it comes time, you could, you know, perhaps take a label or what have you, and some different color ribbon like red or green or what have you. And this says, my best wishes to you on Christmas Day. And that could be your focal point, right? And now you have a Christmas snippet. Or you could take it and put flowers on it and you'd have a spring snippet. So, you know, but I'm making Christmas ones, so I'm going to get some, one of my pen pals sent me this last month. I just think it's adorable how she did this. She put lace and ribbon, seam binding, the old seam binding, the really old seam binding. This is like how, this is what I used to sew with, seam binding, you know, to put on the edges, the hems of skirts and things like that. And then she sent me some vintage lace as well, which I thought was really sweet. And then she put it on this card, which I haven't taken it all off yet, so I have no idea what the card is or what it says. It's in a different numbered way because she is from Finland. So anyway, I just thought that was fun. So I'm going to get a piece of ribbon or something. I'll just use a snippet of lace here. And what I do is, if I have a piece of lace and it's like this, you know, it has this on it, I'll take that off, but I won't throw it away because you could use it for something. So I'll take that off just to kind of flatten out that lace so it's not so bulky. But I won't throw that away. I'll just leave it there for now. So I have a little piece of lace here. And I'm just kind of stretching it out. Sometimes I have to be careful because if it's old, really old, it will tear. So, and I've done that before on video with antique lace. So I'll put that there. But I want to kind of scrunch it up a little bit. So I always keep a needle and thread right next to me in my little container, which I need to make a bigger one because this one has gotten so full of needles and threads because I always keep different colors next to me. So what I'm going to do is you can go right through it. You can sew through paper with your needle and thread. I wanted to show you that. And then I'm just going to kind of scrunch this up just a little bit. If it will go through the lace. I should have cut it a little bit longer so I could have more of a kind of scrunched look, but it's fine. And then I'll just kind of go down through here. So you don't need a sewing machine if you want to sew it. You can still sew it. I'll just kind of go up through here because that's not staying there. You know what? I'm using an embroidery needle, so I probably should have used a different needle since I'm going through the paper. So I'm just going to scrunch this up a little bit here before I put my focal point on. So now if you wanted to, you could just put this away and save it for, you know, whenever you need a snippet. And then just put your focal point on it depending on what kind of, I'm using this because I can't seem to get it through that cardstock that's back there. And you could use paper. You don't have to use, you know, a little piece of whatever. And you're not going to see that when it's glued down anyway, so. Now this too, you could put a button on it, you know, and that could be your snippet. So you don't have to use, you know, a specific focal point like as in paper or something. But I usually do my, I will typically use my buttons on my fabric snippets. So I'll just tie this off on the back and snip that. Put this back. And now I'll pick a focal point for it, which There's one, but it's real white, and I've got this white right here, so I didn't even think about that. I already have that little girl. Do I have this little girl? No, I don't. She's awfully cute. She could kind of be on the, you know, side of the lace, and I could use another piece, like, you know, you don't have to stick to one piece. And I love doing this because Tim Holtz charges a lot of money for his little people. Just saying. So I always shrink down things when it has little people in it or little pieces because, like I said, Tim Holtz's stuff is really expensive. I love this, but I like it there. But I need something up there because it's like in my head, the rule of threes, you know. So what I will do is, okay, I've got it. I am just going to take my scissors. Excuse me, they're hanging up right over here. I'm going to take my scissors. This is too big, that's why I'm cutting it down. But I do like it. I probably could have gotten a smaller one, but this happened to be right there. And I don't want to go looking. I don't want to take a lot of time thinking about this. That's your big thing. You just don't want to take a long time thinking about things. So there you go. I think actually, no, I'm going to go like this. Now, like I said, it is a little bit wider, but I did stay within my perimeter. You know what I mean? It's not real big. Just take these little pieces off, which I didn't want to, but they're so fragile. So I'll just glue those down. And anytime I'm gluing on fabric, I use Fabri-Tac because that will make sure it keeps it down there. And I'm just gluing it in the middle. I'm not gluing the whole thing down. And you'll see why. It looks better. Maybe I could move this up here. No, I like it there. I actually like it in the middle, sort of. So I'm just going to glue over this side. I didn't have to use the Fabri-Tac on that, but anyway, I did. So now you have a Christmas snippet that says, my best wishes to you on Christmas Day. See? And that's it. And you've got a snippet. And like I said, you don't have to sew it. You don't have to put your images on now, you know, your focal points on now. You could wait until, and I kind of like doing this to kind of give it a little bit of a three-dimensional, two-dimensional look. You know, so it's not just kind of stuck down on the paper. Like so. That's really fragile. So there you go. This number 4. Only you weren't here. Let's do another one. Shall we? Put this in my trash. Okay. So now I'm starting off with a cream base, so I have to get something that's not real creamy. I definitely don't want to use white again. That was hard. This is good. I like that. Okay, let's not think about it too much, Cheryl. We need some color. Oh, that is color. So we could use some script. And if you don't have older paper, that's fine, because Donna has tons of it in her shop. I actually have some pieces here somewhere. Oh, I like that. It's part of the check, but it's like a little tag. And I like it. See, you can take pieces of things. You know? That would be fun. I have a piece of pink here, but I don't know if I want to use pink. How about some green? Let me do something like this. And all of Donna's papers that I used today, I will leave in the link below. The rest are just scraps that came off of something else. But primarily I'm using Donna's. So let's see, I need something. Put that there, put this here. Don't want to cover up too much of that. And I think I'll use one more piece of something. Oh, this is pretty. It's got some blues in it. So, I like that. Just gonna bring it in a little bit and glue that down. So yeah, try not to think too much about it like me. I'm actually gonna move this over here. Put this here, because I wasn't very wide on that. There we go. So let me put some glue down. I like that little hole. I'd like to see that, but I'm not going to. This is from a book from 1882. I love the library index cards. So we'll put this one here. And if it's too long when I get done, I can always cut it down. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I like that color better. I think I'll use that color. Am I still in frame? Are you yelling, Cheryl, you're out of frame? This is so fragile. But I love it. And you could go, you know, any direction you want. I like this direction. Now when I'm doing fabric, I'll go different directions. I don't know why. It's just weird. I don't know why I do what I do. There. Now, this will definitely have to be cut down a little bit somewhere, because I think I'll cut it like here. I'll cut this down like here. That's good. Now I need something, some kind of fabric or ribbon. Let's see. She's so cute. Let's use, hold on. I don't really want to use another label. That takes up a lot of it, but that would look cute. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I'll just use maybe some green. Yeah. I was going to use some white, but I'm not going to sew this. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Fabri-Tac here. Oops. Right there. And I'm just going to put it here. And I'm going to, oops, I'm going to wait for it to dry. And it is coming through a little bit, but that's okay because my next piece won't. So see, you don't even need a needle and a thread if you wanted to do it this way. So I'm just going to stick a little bit under here and kind of just ruche it up. Like so. And it is coming through, but it doesn't really bother me because the focal points are going to take care of that. I just didn't want to go straight down on it, which, I mean, you could. And this is just seam binding. You know, the real seam binding that they used back in the day, which is, I think, probably the same. Okay, so now I have some, you know, little piece of fabric. I like the different textiles. So I'll put him here. I'll put that image there, maybe. I don't know about that image. It's pretty light. Hold on. I don't want to reach over you. Santa and not another Santa. Not another Santa. I kind of think I want a little Rudolph. Maybe I'll do it down here. She's cute. And I'll put him maybe up there. That's where I struggle. I struggle mostly with my focal points. I'll put number 30. No. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm going to take and put a little bit of Fabri-Tac here, just in the middle. And put him here. And then this little deer, the same thing. I'm not going to glue it all down, just there in his head. Like so. Oops. And hold it down for a minute. And whoop. Oh, I know. I have this other fabric too. Where are we? I want to make one more. 29. Okay, let's make one more. So now we have these. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. I like them. And they'll look great in my journal. Or in my December daily. And you could do this with your December daily numbers. You know, make snippets and then put all your December daily numbers on them. And then you're not just putting down a December, one number. So we've got these. these I did use the machine. Well, you can't see it through that one, but you know, I sewed it down and then I put those on. But as you can see, you don't really need to use a machine and you don't need to use a needle. I wanted to give you that option of that. So there's those. And let's try a fabric one. So let me get some of this. This came from, I was making a tutu for my granddaughter about 11 years ago, and I still have a ton of it left. I only use it pretty much during Christmas. So I'm going to just take some of this and make a fabric one. But I'll still use a base so I don't go over my base. I don't have my cheesecloth here, do I? Yes, I do. Okay. I like to use cheesecloth in my snippets. In my fabric snippets. You know, it just, I don't know. It just always adds something. I'll bring over my whole little lace bowl. These are my little pieces that I was using and just kind of have to snip, you know, because it's too long. So I'll keep them in there. So let me get out some tea-stained cheesecloth. Oh, what is that? Looks like glitter. I don't know what that is. I wonder if there's glitter in that bag. There is a little bit of glitter at the bottom of the bag. That's odd. I don't know why. I usually just keep my cheesecloth in there, but there is some glitter in there. Okay, so I've got some cheesecloth. I've got this. Now I need some fabric. And I keep my little pieces that look like Christmas, you know, in a little baggie with my bigger pieces of Christmas fabric. That way I always know, okay, that's all Christmas colors. So, and we need some lace. So I'll just take some of this. I'm not using my fabric scissors. So I've got some of that. Maybe, what else do I have in this little bowl? That's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I want to use that on something else though. This is a different color, so we'll use, maybe we'll use ribbon. So we've got some white, we've got some kind of white, we need some red. These aren't my fabric scissors, I can't do that. There's some red. So I'll kind of just put out some fabric and then choose something, you know. Let me just get a piece of green too so I know that I have it. And one piece of this little lace, because it's nice and wide. I like the wider lace. Okay, so there's this, there's some cheesecloth, some more ribbon, some fabric, and my little focal point. Not focal point, but you know what I mean. So, because this is so sheer, I use several pieces of it so you can actually see it. And it looks like snow almost. It's pretty. But it's kind of iridescent. So I've got that, and that's good. See? So I know I won't go over that. Now I'll use this underneath, possibly, which is good. And then I'll use maybe some of this. And some of this lace. And cheesecloth. Hold on one second, let me pull this out. Let me take one of these off because it's really, you can really see through that. So I think I'll go up here. Just let me make sure that I'm still staying. I'm not going too big. Fabric ones, I'll always go too big. So let's see. I want to have this piece of lace in there too. And maybe one more of these, or a couple in the back. Like so. And that kind of gives it a more sturdy base. I might even use another piece of fabric for the back. Then I'll just take a needle and thread, and I'll go through here. Oh, wait a minute. That's a lot of red. Let me put some green in there. And just kind of do that. I'm just going to go up through here. Now you could glue these as well. You don't need to do it the way I do it, but I like using a needle and thread because I can scrunch it up a bit before I put my button in there. See, like this. I didn't knot that, and that's why that's the problem. I'm afraid I'm going to pull it out, so I'll just knot it. Oops. There we go. There we go. See how it kind of pulls it up? Just, you know, just enough. And it doesn't look so flat. Oh, I think I pulled it through. That ribbon is really not doing what I wanted it to do, but it might straighten out once I put it down on something. Maybe I'll add this red one too. Back here like that. And I'm just going kind of in the middle because that's where I'm going to put my button. I'm going to grab a button real quick. small. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten out my white buttons. Maybe I should have gotten out a different color. Too much red. Hold on, I know I have some colored buttons under here. There you go. I didn't want to use the same color, red, you know, there'd be too much red. And the white wasn't showing up at all. So I'm just going to do this. Find where that hole is. I'm going to put it down back underneath through that little buttonhole. And then what I do, just so that the button stays on, I don't go through it. I come underneath the button like this, and then I'll go around the button like this. Am I in frame? I go around the button like this, and then I stick it back under. Now I know that button's never coming off. And then I'll just tie it in the back. And tie it off and snip it. And now I have a snippet to use for Christmas because it's red, green, you know. And you could use any colors you wanted. You don't have to use red and green. You could use any color fabrics. And I'll show you what these look like on a page. These little mason jars are so awesome, and I have them on my Lazy Susan next to me. I have a double layered tray, and then I put it on a Lazy Susan plate that holds up to 110 pounds. So I have all my jars of things that I need right beside me in my Lazy Susan. Okay, so there's a fabric one. So now we've got a fabric one. And we could have added, you know, a focal point to this. There's the green. We could have added, you know, a paper focal point to that and sewn that on. But I just decided to use the ribbon. And I love this. It looks kind of like hay. I don't know. I just love it. I love cheesecloth and anything. It gives it that kind of vintagey, but still sparkly look, you know, with the sparkle. And there's some sparkle on the back too, but you're not going to see that once it's down on the page. Okay, let me move these out of the way and get a page. So now that would be a really pretty, you know, decoration for the side of a page. You might have to cut the ribbons down a little bit unless you wanted to hang them off. But like I told you, I always, for some reason, I end up going bigger on the fabric snippets, so I always end up having to cut them down a bit. But I won't cut this down or anything until I decide where I'm going to put it. Okay, so there's one. But see how much nicer that looks? So I definitely snip this down a little bit. Or I would put it on something and use it as a pocket, which you can do. You could put it on this, right? Fold this under, watch. Use it as a pocket or a side tuck, and now it's completely different. Now it's okay. So you could do something like this, right? And now it's, you know, a little tuck spot or a pocket. You could do something like this, actually. And now it becomes, you know, a tuck spot, which is fine. There. right? So now you could put it on your page like this, and it could be a tuck spot instead of a little decoration if you go too big. I think I turn it around, it would be better. There. So now that looks really nice on your page, especially a white page. You know, it's a good starting point. So I've got that one. We've got this one. We've got this one. We've got little number 24, when Santa comes. And then we've got this one. And we've got this one. This little leg might need to be glued down a little bit, because I'm going to lose that leg if I don't. Sorry about that. Come on. Stick down. So there we go. Little snippets for Christmas. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 snippets already for my journals, for my Christmas journals. And it doesn't take long at all, you know. I just talk too much on camera. I mean, I could keep going. I'll probably finish this pile between snippets and twisted tangles. So I will be back again, hopefully tomorrow if I feel up to it. I'm sorry this took 47 minutes. As long as I stayed in frame. All right. I hope you were inspired in some way. Please give me a like or a thumbs up or leave a comment. That would be great and really would help me out. If this is your first time visiting, a very warm welcome. I do hope that you return. We have a lot of fun here. And for those of you who are my followers who are so faithful, thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you all. So until next time, be well, be kind, and God bless. Bye-bye, y'all.